Hey, how's it going? Coach Kyle here, and one of my clients in the weekly check-in said, I think I could use some more information on gels and goos or any long distance calorie fuel moving forward. So I'm going to go through briefly uh, kind of how I go about fueling for various longer runs. And so basically, if it's an easy run of an hour or less, I don't really mind fueling. Like I might do an easy 45 minutes in the morning after a cup of coffee without breakfast, or I might do it in the afternoon after breakfast and or lunch. So it's an easy 45 minutes, not a big deal. But when we get into workouts like tempo runs, track repeats of under an hour, or longer runs of 90 minutes or longer, fueling helps a little bit. I mean, you can do an easy 90 minutes without any food in your body for 12 hours, but it might just help a little bit to have some fuel. But especially if you're doing a workout, a harder run, or some type of harder long run. So very often, this is very typical how I do it, is I wake up in the morning and I have 1 or 2 cups of coffee and a banana, an apple, something roughly around 100 calories. If it's a longer run, I might have a bagel or something, but typically 1 to 200 calories is what I'll eat 30, 45 minutes before the start of the run. And then often what I do is I'll have another 100 or so calories right before the workout. I'm going to say workout. So it's a workout like a tempo run, or it's a long run that's going to be fatiguing. So before a workout, I might have a protein ball. These, I don't know how many calories these are. Over 100, less than 200 ish. We'll say 200 calories. So right before a run, I might just finish up a little bit of my cup of coffee with a protein ball. And then if I'm doing a long run, maybe every 45 minutes, I might have some sort of gel or goo, or what are these, sport beans. So typically maybe every 45 minutes with that. Now, if I'm doing a workout, let's say it's like an easy mile, a moderate 4 miles, and then an easy mile cool down, for example. With that, I would have a banana and some coffee about a half hour before the start. And then right before the start, before I go out and run to the track that's a mile away, I would probably have a protein ball or another banana, and then just wash that down with a little bit of coffee. That's typically how it goes. Now, during a long run, I might take this with and put some water in there, put a couple of gels in here, or maybe put some calories in the hydration in here. With drinking, typically, I suggest just drinking to thirst. Another option here is to put maple syrup, real maple syrup, in one of these. This holds about 300 calories of maple syrup. If you have 100 calories per hour, this is good for 2 or 3 hours for a long run. So for training, a nice kind of rule of thumb is taking in about 100 calories an hour. For a race, like my marathon, I'm going to do about 200, 250. And then these protein balls are also really nice. Like on the weekends, we often drive out to a trail, do the trail, and then drive back. So in cases like that, it's nice to have the protein balls because they store really easily. I talked to a lady, and she gave me a recipe for those with garbanzo beans mashed up in them. And she puts them in baggies and just puts them in one of the pockets on her camelback for her long runs and races. So it's actually a really good hearty type of fuel. It's not the easiest to eat, but like if I was doing a long trail race, I would probably opt for something a little more hearty, like the protein balls. But for my marathon, I'm going to use these Science and Sport gels. And after the run, I usually just take this. It's almond and cashew milk with added pea protein. So there's 10 grams of protein per cup, which is a actually really good amount. And I'll fill a pint glass with that, and I'll just drink that right after my workouts. After pretty much every run, I drink at least 1 cup of that. We have little coffee mugs that are perfect 1 cup measurements. So if it's after just an easy run, I might just take some of this, fill up one of the coffee mugs and drink that. If it's a long run, I'll have a pint glass, 2 cups of it. So, and then I'll have, maybe a protein ball. It's peanut butter, there's protein powder in there, there's coconut, cocoa nibs, and I accidentally put in some sugar in those. I thought it was the shredded coconut bag, and it was sugar. Peanut butter, oats, flax meal can work, or chia seeds. So they're really good. Everybody should have some protein balls on hand. But that's typically how I go about fueling for easy runs, which typically don't fuel for, or medium distance workouts or long runs. That's kind of how it goes. So if you have any questions or comments, drop them below. And as always, you keep running, I'll keep coaching.